Government's big step on paper leak. Public Examination Bill 2024 passed by the Lok Sabha. There is a provision of 10 years imprisonment and fine. Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Amendment Bill 2024 gets approval from Rajya Sabha. This bill will amend the 1974 Act, major changes in rules. Government releases interim budget before elections, emphasis given to women and farmers. Many schemes were mentioned. Cases of cervical cancer increased in the country. Highest number of cases registered in Tamil Nadu. Condition of Uttar Pradesh and Maharashtra also not good. And rare butterfly seen in Himachal Pradesh. The name of the species is Dusted Apollo. It was discovered in the year 1890. With the beginning of the budget session of Parliament, the government has introduced several bills. In this series, the Public Examinations Prevention of Unfair Means Bill 2024 was introduced in the Lok Sabha. The objective of this bill is to prevent the use of unfair means in public examinations. This bill defines a number of offences in relation to public examinations. This bill also specifies unfair means. That includes offences like unauthorized access to question paper or answer key, leaking question paper, assisting a candidate during public examination. Along with this, tampering with computer networks or resources and disclosing confidential information related to the examination ahead of time has also been considered a crime. There is a provision for imprisonment of 3 to 5 years and a fine of up to Rs 10 lakh for all these crimes. Let us inform you that under this bill, all offences will be cognizable, non-bailable and non-compoundable. Besides, these crimes will be investigated by officers of the rank of Deputy Superintendent or Assistant Commissioner of Police. Along with this, the central government can transfer the investigation to any central investigating agency. Let us tell you that in this bill, public examinations means examinations conducted by specific authorities or notified by the central government. These include examinations taken for recruitment by Union Public Service Commission, Staff Selection Commission, Railway Recruitment Board, National Testing Agency, Institute of Banking Personnel Selection and departments of the central government. Recently, the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Amendment Bill 2024 was introduced in the Rajya Sabha. It amends the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1974. After the bill is passed, it will be applied in Himachal Pradesh, Rajasthan and Union Territories in the initial phases. However, other states may also pass resolutions to increase its applicability in their states. Several changes have been made in this bill. Under the Act of 1974, the chairman of SPCB, that is State Pollution Control Board, is nominated by the state government, whereas this bill added that the central government will determine the manner of nomination and conditions of service of the speaker. There is a provision to give an exemption for setting up new industrial plants with prior consent of SPCB. This bill also states that the central government may issue guidelines to approve, reject or revoke the consent given by the SPCB. According to the bill, prior consent of SPCB is required for setting up any industry or treatment plant. In this bill, the central government has given the right to appoint adjudication officer to determine the penalties. This officer should be of the level of joint secretary to the central government or secretary to the state government. Several offences have been removed from the bill. Along with this, provision for fine has been made instead of imprisonment for many crimes. According to the bill, fines for offences will range between Rs 10,000 and Rs 15 lakh. Recently, the Constitution Scheduled Tribes Orders Amendment Bill 2024 and the Constitution Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribes Order Amendment Bill 2024 has passed in the Rajya Sabha, in which there is a provision to modify the list of SC and ST in Odisha and Andhra Pradesh. Under this bill, in Andhra Pradesh, 3 tribal groups have been added to the list of STs, which includes castes like Bondo Porja, Khond Porja, Parangi Perja. Whereas in Odisha, 4 groups have been added to this list. All these castes are included in PVTG, that is particularly vulnerable tribal group. In the year 1973, primitive tribal group was made a separate category by the Debar Commission. However, in the year 2006, its name was changed to PVTG. At present, they reside in 18 states and union territories of the country. Currently, there are 75 PVTG groups in India. Let us tell you that to include caste in SC and ST categories, one has to go through a special process, for which both houses of parliament have to amend the constitution, Scheduled Caste and Tribes Order of 1950. Article 341 of the constitution mentions Scheduled Caste, while Article 342 mentions related provisions related to scheduled tribes. Recently, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has presented the Interim Budget for 2024-25. It will provide funds to the government for a part of the financial year until the main budget is passed. Let us tell you that the government is estimated to spend Rs 47,65,768 crore in 2024-25, which is 6% more than the revised estimate of 2023-24. Whereas the receipts other than borrowings in 2024-25 are estimated to be Rs 30,80,274 crore, which is about 12% more than the revised estimate for 2023-24. Apart from this, a growth rate of 10.5% in nominal GDP has been estimated in 2024-25. This year, the revenue deficit is targeted at 2% of GDP, while fiscal deficit is targeted at 5.1% of GDP. Rupees 70,449 crore has been allocated to the Department of Economic Affairs for new schemes. Let us inform you that 3 major economic railway corridor programs will be implemented as per this budget. An additional 2 crore houses will be built in the next 5 years under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Grameen. Along with this, a new scheme will be started to help people build their own houses. This will include middle-class people living in rented houses, slums, and unauthorized colonies. Talking about the health sector, vaccination has been recommended for girls aged 9 to 14 years to prevent cervical cancer. Also, healthcare coverage will be provided to Asha and Anganwadi workers under the Ayushman Bharat scheme. Apart from this, there is a provision in this budget for rooftop solarization of 1 crore houses, and Blue Economy 2.0 scheme will be launched to restore coastal aquaculture. Along with this, it is proposed to expand the use of nano DAP fertilizer in all agroclimatic zones. A program will be prepared to assist dairy farmers. Along with this, there has also been talk of expansion of PM Matsya Sampada Yojana. Recently, the Annual Survey of Industries has released a report for 2020-21 and 2021-22. This report highlights the number of people engaged in the manufacturing sector and their wages, in which it returned to its level in 2022 after a slight decline in the financial year 2021. According to survey, the average number of workers per factory is 54.4 in 2021-22, whereas it was 50.3 in 2020-21 and 53 in 2019-20. For the first time in 2 decades, there has been a slight decline in the number of factories. The factories that exist employ more people per factory. Let us inform you that large factories are performing better than their smaller counterparts in India's manufacturing sector. However, these figures corroborate the database provided in the periodic labor force survey. Overall, manufacturing GVA saw a contraction of 3% in 2019-20, whereas an increase of 11.1% was seen in 2021-22. The number of factories fell marginally, 2,49,987 in 2021-22. The number of both workers and individuals increased during this period. The total wages paid to workers reached pre-pandemic levels in 2021-22. The compound annual growth rate of workers in the year 2018-19 was 4%. The Annual Survey of Industries is a major source of industrial statistics in India. It is issued by the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. It includes factories using electricity with 10 or more workers, whereas factories with 20 or more workers and not using electricity are also included. Recently, the Bihar State Disaster Management Authority has launched Nitish Device. Its aim is to alert farmers of the state about floods, heat wave and cold wave. This equipment has been named Nitish that is Novel Initiative Technological Intervention for Safety of Human Lives device. This device is equipped with advanced sensors and technology. With the help of the instrument, changes in weather conditions can be detected. It will alert the farmers half an hour in advance through SMS. This device will be charged by body heat. The device will sound an alert in 3 ways. For alerts, it will send a sound message in which its color will change from green to red. It will continue to indicate until the user turns it off. Let us tell you that the most important advantage is its ability to predict lightning strikes that will save the lives of farmers working in open fields. Apart from it, this device will inform farmers about the onset of heat and cold wave, so that they will be able to take appropriate decisions regarding crop management and livestock care. This information could prove vital to preventing crop and livestock damage during extreme weather events. Recently, the central government has reported a shocking increase in cervical cancer cases in Tamil Nadu. According to official figures, the state saw more than 8,500 new cases of cervical cancer last year, 2023, due to which significant concerns about women's health have increased. Let us inform you that in the year 2023, there were approximately 36,014 cases of cervical cancer in Tamil Nadu, whereas Uttar Pradesh saw 45,682 cases, Maharashtra 30,414 and West Bengal 25,822 cases. According to the National Cancer Registry Program, about 14.8 women out of every 1 lakh in Chennai had cervical cancer. It is to be noted that cervical cancer is the second most common cancer in women ages 35 to 44. Globally, cervical cancer is the 4th most common cancer in women. It is mainly caused by persistent infection of HPV, that is human papilloma virus. HPV is a common sexually transmitted infection that can affect the skin, genital area and throat. It can be prevented through vaccination and regular checkups. The World Health Organization has set some targets to prevent cervical cancer by 2030. That includes screening for cervical cancer at least in 70% of women. In this year's budget, the Union Finance Minister has made an announcement on cervical cancer. Under this, girls aged 9 to 14 years will be vaccinated against cervical cancer. Recently, a medieval period area was identified in Vadnagar, Gujarat. This study was done by researchers from the Birbal Sahani Institute of Paleosciences. This research has exposed a 2,500-year-old method to deal with climate change. In fact, Vadnagar recorded different levels of monsoon rainfall during the medieval and post-medieval periods, in which it was found that the resilient crop economy existed in this area. According to data from this area, food production continued even during the climate deterioration. Since there was uneven distribution of monsoon rains in the post-medieval period, due to this, C4 plants were used in this method. This method was based on botanical science that combines botanical knowledge with archaeological material. In addition to macrobotanical remains, microbotanical and cereal particles were also included in this study. Radiocarbon dating has also been included in this study. According to experts, it can be used to deal with climate change even in the present times. It is noteworthy that C4 plants are those plants which use a specific photosynthetic pathway that is also known as the C4 carbon fixation pathway. This pathway adapts to hot and dry environments as well as conditions where photorespiration has high possibilities. Recently, a rare species of butterfly has been seen for the first time in Himachal Pradesh. The name of this species is dusted Apollo. The distribution range of this species extends from Ladakh to West Nepal. It flies between 3,500 to 4,800 meters in the inner Himalayas. This species is protected under Schedule 2 of the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. Notably, dusted Apollo was first discovered in the year 1890. This species is similar to the Ladakh banded Apollo. Dusted Apollo has a complete discal band on the upper forewing. It extends from the costa to the vein 1, whereas in Ladakh banded Apollo it extends only up to vein 4. The dark marginal band on the back wings of dusted Apollo is quite narrow, whereas in Ladakh banded Apollo it is wider. Let us inform you that a total of 11 Apollo species have been recorded from Himachal Pradesh. Of these, 5 have been declared scheduled species. This butterfly is considered commercially important, and due to their high price, they are poached. According to experts, most of the Apollo butterflies are now endangered. People should be made aware about their conservation and protection. Also, butterfly parks and conservation reserves should be established in the state. Questions based on today's bulletin are: first question is, consider the following statements with reference to particularly vulnerable tribal group. 1. In 1973, primitive tribal group was made a separate category by the Debar Commission. 2. Tribes are included in the PVTG group by the Prime Minister. 3. There are currently 85 PVTG groups in India. How many of the above statements are correct? Only one, only two, all three, or none? Next question is, consider the following statements regarding Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Amendment Bill 2024. 1. It amends the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1974. 2. Under the bill, the adjudication officer will be appointed by the central government to determine the penalties. 3. According to the bill, the chairman of the State Pollution Control Board will be appointed by the governor. How many of the above statements are correct? Only one, only two, all three, or all four? Next question is, consider the following statements with reference to human papillomavirus. 1. Cervical cancer in women is caused by this virus. 2. It can affect the skin, genital area and throat. 3. Prevention from this virus is possible only through stem cell therapy. How many of the above statements are correct? Only one, only two, all three, or none? Next question is, consider the following statements related to C4 plant. 1. This special plant is found only in South India. 2. These plants use a specific photosynthetic pathway. 3. High rate of photorespiration is found in these plants. How many of the above statements are incorrect? Only one, only two, all three, or none? Last question is, consider the following statements related to dusted Apollo. 1. It is a species of butterfly. 2. This species was discovered in 1890. 3. The distribution range of this species extends from Ladakh to West Nepal. How many of the above statements are correct? Only one, only two, all three, or none? Recently, the government of Tamil Nadu has declared the reserve forest in Bargur Hills as Thantai Periyar Wildlife Sanctuary. It has been notified as the 18th Wildlife Sanctuary of Tamil Nadu state. This sanctuary was first announced in the state budget of 2023. This sanctuary is located in the Erode district of Tamil Nadu in an area spanning both the Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. The sanctuary includes reserved forest areas in Anthiur, Bargur, Thatakarai and Chenampatti. It is the habitat of a variety of wild animals like tigers, elephants, leopards, wild boars, gaur and deer. The area is part of the corridor that connects the Satyamangalam Tiger Reserve with the Male Mahadeshwara Hills Tiger Reserve and the Kaveri Wildlife Sanctuary. Recently, researchers have identified an unknown species of frog in Bengaluru. The name of this species is Sphaerotheca varshabhu. They came out of their burrows during the initial rains. Due to this behavior, it was named Sphaerotheca varshabhu. This species exhibits some unique characteristics which distinguish it from other known frog species. The behavior and physical characteristics of this species help it deal with the challenges posed by urbanization. The team of researchers used advanced genetic analysis to confirm the uniqueness of this newly discovered amphibian. Recently, Union Minister Smriti Irani said that one-stop centers were established in more than 700 districts in the country. About 8.3 lakh women have got help through them. One-Stop Center is a scheme of the Ministry of Women and Child Development. The scheme is funded through the Nirbhaya Fund. Its audit is done as per the norms of the Comptroller and Auditor General of India. Its objective is to provide support to women affected by violence in both private and public spaces. These centers have an administrator, case workers, medical personnel, and police facility officers, psychosocial counselors, legal counsel, security guards, IT staff, and multi-purpose workers. Recently, the Prime Minister has announced that Lal Krishna Advani will be honoured with Bharat Ratna 2024. Let us tell you that Lal Krishna Advani is an Indian politician and former Deputy Prime Minister of India. He was born on November 8, 1927 in Karachi, present-day Pakistan. Bharat Ratna is India's highest civilian award. It was started in the year 1954 and it is awarded for supreme performance in any field of humanitarian act such as public service, literature, science and art. Exercise Vayu Shakti 2024 will be organized by the Indian Air Force. It will be organized at the air-to-ground range of Pokhran near Jaisalmer. In this exercise, offensive and defensive capabilities will be displayed brilliantly by the Indian Air Force. 121 aircraft indigenous fighter aircraft Tejas, Prachand and Dhruv will participate in this exercise. Aircraft like Rafale, Mirage 2000, Sukhoi 30 MKI Jaguar, C-130J Chinook and Apache will also participate in it. The last edition of this exercise was conducted in Pokhran in 2019. Recently, the government gave information about the SC&ST scheme in the Lok Sabha. This scheme is for scheduled caste students of class 9th and 11th. Its objective is to provide quality education and opportunities to the students of the SC category. It is also known as a residential education for students in high schools in targeted areas scheme. It offers bridge courses to help SC students integrate into the school environment. The objective of bridge courses is to increase the ability of students to easily adapt to the school environment. Students are selected through a transparent mechanism. The examination for admission is conducted by the National Testing Agency. Recently, France has become the first European country to adopt India's Unified Payment Interface, that is UPI system. Now, Indian tourists will be able to use UPI for Eiffel Tower ticket booking. Notably, last year, India had expanded UPI to non-resident migrants in 10 countries, including Singapore and the UK. The list of these countries includes Singapore, Australia, Canada, Hong Kong, Oman, Qatar, America, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates and United Kingdom. A unique gift has been given to India by Iran. Iran has announced a 15-day visa-free policy for Indian tourists visiting the country. This facility has been started from February 4. According to the Iranian embassy, passport holders will be allowed to enter Iran without a visa once every 6 months with a maximum stay of 15 days. However, before Iran, several countries have announced free visas for Indian tourists. It includes countries like Vietnam, Thailand, Sri Lanka and Mauritius. The US government has made a big announcement for H-1B visa holders. According to the announcement, automatic work authorization will be granted to approximately 1 lakh H-4 visa holders who are spouses and children of H category holders. This step is good news for Indian technology professionals who have been waiting for a green card for a long time. To qualify for an H-1B visa, occupations are typically in fields such as technology, finance, engineering, architecture or more. Whereas a green card, officially known as a permanent resident card, is a document issued to immigrants to the United States as proof that the holder has been granted the privilege to reside permanently. Recently, Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi inaugurated the India Energy Week 2024 in Goa. India Energy Week 2024 is India's largest and omni-channel energy exhibition and conference, bringing together the entire energy value chain to catalyze India's energy transition goals. Its objective is to encourage and promote startups. About 17 energy ministers from different countries will participate in it. Apart from this, there will also be pavilions of 6 countries that includes Canada, Germany, Netherlands, Russia, Britain and America. For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.